What's good, family? Go ahead and tap that follow button right now, because this story right here is straight out of a movie. A full-blown collapse of fame, fortune, and family that'll have you shaking your head. We're talking about Sean Kingston, the man who once had the entire world singing beautiful girls and vibing to that breezy island sound, now reduced to court dates, fraud convictions, and a mother-son legal nightmare that could land both of them behind bars for decades. It's wild to see how far Kingston has fallen from his breakout in 2007 to now being the face of one of the most shocking celebrity fraud scandals in years. But this isn't some petty shoplifting or minor lawsuit, this is millions of dollars. In wire fraud, fake receipts, fake wire transfers, and a whole operation that ran for months with Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, at the center. It all started unraveling in May 2024, when Kingston's luxurious South Florida mansion was raided by a SWAT team, like something out of Cops or Narcos. Tactical gear, sirens, the whole nine. But get this, Kingston wasn't even home. He was in California performing at a concert, completely unaware that federal agents were surrounding his house, arresting his mother on site, and beginning the chain of events that would lead to his own arrest days later at Fort Irwin. Army base, the charges: 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud, with each count carrying up to 20 years in prison. And if you're thinking this was some kind of misunderstanding, think again. The trial, which took place in March 2025, lasted 5 days but needed only 3 hours of jury deliberation to find them both guilty. Why? Because the evidence was stacked higher than a DJ Khaled feature list. We're talking 33 fake wire transfer receipts, voice memos where Kingston literally instructed his mom to create fake documents, text messages with lines like, "I told you to make fake receipts so it looks like the transfer will be there in a couple of days." And victims who testified they were promised access to celebrities, red carpet events, and music videos. All smoke and mirrors to get their hands on high-end products. One of the most damning pieces of testimony came from Fort Lauderdale jeweler Moshe Edery, who said Kingston sent him a fake screenshot for a $285,000 Audemars Piguet watch and promised him a pipeline to celebrity clients. The jeweler believed him, handed over the watch, and ended up fired after the fraud came to light. And that's just one victim. The full list of luxury items they scammed is insane. A bulletproof Cadillac Escalade worth $159,714, a luxury bed, valued at over $86,000, a $150,000 home theater system, and over $480,000 in additional jewelry and designer goods. We're not talking about one bad purchase. We're talking about a pattern, a system, an organized and calculated fraud ring run out of a mansion using celebrity connections to get people to let their guard down. And Janice Turner, Kingston's mother, wasn't just a passive player. According to the judge, she was the operator, the fixer, and the accountant, managing deliveries, creating documents, and keeping the fraudulent operation on track. The court even refused her bail, citing her 2006 bank fraud conviction where she served 16 months in prison. Meanwhile, Kingston was granted house arrest with electronic monitoring after posting a bond made up of a $500,000 home and $200,000 in cash. But don't get it twisted. Both of them are still facing serious time. The sentencing is scheduled for July 11, 2025, and while it's unlikely they'll get the full 100 years, 20 per count times 5 counts, legal experts are predicting Kingston could receive between 5 to 15 years, while Turner could face closer to the maximum due to her previous record and the court's labeling of her as the mastermind. Now let's rewind a little. How did we even get here? For those who might not know, Sean Kingston's story is the kind of rise and fall arc Hollywood loves. He came from nothing, literally. Born in Miami and raised in Jamaica, Kingston's early life was filled with struggle. At age 11, he was arrested for breaking and entering, served 21 days in jail, then boot camp, and spent periods of homelessness sleeping in cars with his family. His mother, Janice Turner, was already in prison during his teenage years for identity, fraud, and the family was in survival mode. Then came his big break, discovered on YouTube, signed to Beluga Heights in 2007, and boom, Sean Kingston was everywhere. Beautiful Girls went #1 in multiple countries. He worked with Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, and Chris Brown. For a moment, he was a global pop star, but the success didn't last. His follow-up albums, Tomorrow in 2009 and Back to Life in 2013, didn't perform commercially, with the latter failing to chart at all. The checks slowed down, but the lifestyle didn't. The cars, the jewelry, the mansion, all still had to be paid for. And when your career is fading but you're still trying to live like a superstar, the temptation to cut corners grows. That's exactly what prosecutors say happened. Kingston used his name, his fame, and his connections to deceive, manipulate, and scam. One company testified that Kingston claimed he was Justin Bieber's business partner to secure a $150,000 home theater system. Bieber, by the way, had no idea and was reportedly furious when his name was dragged into the trial. Kingston used every ounce of leftover fame to his advantage, even promising shoutouts and social media promo in exchange for luxury items he never paid for. On Reddit and social media, the fallout has been huge. People are roasting him left and right, turning his song lyrics into punchlines like, "Ain't no beautiful girls where he's going," and "Somebody call 911, Sean's career just got lit on fire." X, formerly Twitter, is flooded with comments expressing shock, disappointment, and a weird sense of nostalgia for his early music. Some fans are genuinely sad, saying Kingston had everything and lost it all. Others are less forgiving, saying he had every chance to make it work, and instead chose to scam hard-working business owners. One Reddit thread even surfaced multiple personal stories, fans saying they knew people who worked with Kingston and got ghosted, or that he was demanding free popcorn in Ireland while stiffing drivers on payments. It's a pattern. Even major outlets like Variety, The New York Times, TMZ, and Rolling Out have covered the story, which says a lot. This isn't just gossip. It's a cautionary tale that touches on everything from celebrity excess to generational criminal behavior. Because here's the truth. This didn't start in 2024. It started years ago. The seeds were planted during Kingston's childhood, watered by struggle, fertilized by fame, and eventually bloomed into a full-grown criminal operation that could now cost him the rest of his adult freedom. And what happens after sentencing? Can Kingston ever come back from this? Maybe. Artists have rebounded from worse. T.I., Gucci Mane, even Bobby Shmurda turned jail time into music inspiration. But the difference here is the scale of the scam, the fact that it involved victims, and the fact that neither Kingston nor Turner has taken accountability. They pleaded not guilty. They showed no remorse. And when you're trying to make a comeback, in 2025, the public wants more than a hot beat. They want humility, transparency, and receipts. Ironically, receipts are what got him here. And Janice Turner? Her chances of redemption are even slimmer. With 2 convictions for major fraud cases and a proven role as the architect of this scheme, she's likely going away for a long time. The court sees her not just as a mother who got in too deep, but as a repeat offender who taught her son how to play the game. And that adds a tragic layer to this whole story. This wasn't just a scam. It was a cycle. A family blueprint passed down from one generation to the next. A son who followed his mother's example, not toward greatness, but toward the exact same prison system she'd already been through. Some might call it loyalty, others call it self-destruction. But either way, the story is bigger than fraud. It's about broken systems, personal choices, and the